everyone. Well, once again, welcome to Up Front with Frank Rothstein on Sky's Crescent Radio at skyscrescentradio.com as we broadcast to you live on Twitch, and we share it live on Facebook to both the Up Front with Frank Rothstein page and, of course, Sky's Crescent Radio page. Joining me, as always, sitting somewhere, God knows where she is the working musician with a new gig in mind. It is, of course, Jade Zabrick. There she is in the chat stream with her traditional howdy. Jade's got a new gig somewhere, and she's going to type into the stream and tell you exactly where it is, so you can pay $10,000 a ticket and go sit there and see her with a 6-drink minimum and an order of fries. But actually, yeah, Jade, please type into the stream and tell everybody where you are. This is show number 296. It's coming up. Yeah, it's coming to be close to 300. Now, Jade had originally asked me, why did I put this picture behind me? You see that? You see that? I'm moving over. Waiting. Let's see. Okay, it's running a little slow. You see that? This is the Neapolitan Oreo cookie, chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Look at that cookie. It's not an Oreo. It's not an Oreo. Mediterranean Grill in Fairfield, New Jersey. Oh, righty then. To me, growing up as a kid, if you wanted to get chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, you bought a big container of Breyer's ice cream. And that was it. If I wanted an Oreo, which I do, I bought an Oreo. This picture here, this ain't it. And once again, the mutilating of the Oreo cookie is more than my delicate sensibilities can handle on a day like this. And speaking of a day like this, I was promised on my weather report 90% chance of rain. It's not 90%. So far that 10% is coming on real strong. I'm waiting for the first drop. It's like walking around in soup out there. Look at me, my hair. It's so matted down today. It's so straight. Well, it's getting straighter anyway, but still, nasty. I'm on my third iced coffee. Now all I am is caffeinated and hot. This isn't helping me. This is no good. I got to go somewhere. Well, if I go somewhere dry, wait, that's right. It puts me in the Midwest, where a friend of mine posted that on the roads, the temperatures on the highways can be like 150. You know, you're walking around. You know, it's all like tar and cement. Oh, nasty. Hot as hell. Speaking of hot as hell, England, Great Britain has their problems with heat. Speaking of hot. Actually, there's a lot of them hot. I'm looking at a picture. You know, like the palace guards, they're wearing that red uniform with that big bearskin hat. It's 105 degrees. These poor guys are wearing the big bearskin hat. There's some cop taking pity and pouring this guard some water in his mouth. Of course, he's not allowed to break attention and grab the water bottle himself. So the officer is actually feeding him water. It's 105, and he's wearing this big hat, the height of my paper towels, and it's black, absorbing all the heat, and it's like 110 in his hat and on his head. Holy crap. Matter of fact, what else is going on? And it's so hot. Where did I put this article over here? London also has another problem. Not that these are the most important stories of my day, but London also has another problem, is that their airline, the flights are suspended because the runway is being damaged during the heat wave. How could that happen, you may be thinking? They're not landing on dirt runways like any other airport. The runways are made of asphalt, which has tar, cement, and it's getting softer. It's melting is what it is. It's 105 or hotter. It's actually hotter on the ground. And since it's black, so you can see it comes up. Yeah, that's not a place to walk around. So anyway, if you're traveling to or from London, get there early, or check, because it can get really bad out there. Yeah, it's getting exciting out there. The weather is changing. I'm not sure if the earth has moved or the sun's laughing at us, but yeah, this is things have definitely changed. And of course, I noticed about 10 years ago that the month that when the weather changes for us, hot or cold, it's been moved by a month. So I mean, it's we're in mid-July. I'm in New York City, and yeah, it's humid, it's warm out, but my apartment, I haven't, I mean, it's on now because of the humidity, but I haven't had to use my air conditioner that much. I really haven't, because I put it on to cool it off, but it's not that kind of hot yet. And here comes August. And I know what happens, because if you're living out in the country, you don't have this problem. When you take the New York City subway, or any, our New York City subway, I know the heat's alive, and I know it's waiting for me. You walk down those steps, a few more steps, metal landing, get onto that platform, and suddenly the only thing you hear is a voice saying, "Hi, I'm the heat." And whatever it is you're doing, suddenly you're melting also. Damn, I felt like the Wicked Witch of the West. It wasn't even raining. But yeah, it's what happens. It gets hot, but it's moving a month. No, I don't know where it is where you're living, but it's like in cold weather, Christmas. I noticed the winters aren't that bad either, especially in December, where you would think it could be bad. But things have shifted a little bit. Anyway, what else is going on in the world? What else is going on in the world? Well, a lot. And we've talked about this many, many times. I'm not sure what the University of Pennsylvania, no, UPenn, was thinking, but the NCAA award, National Collegiate Athletic Association award, for which former University of Penn swimmer Leah Thomas is in place to recognize female athletes student. They want to make Leah Thomas the Woman of the Year. You got it? Leah Thomas is the transgender woman, girl, whatever you want to refer to a college kid as, who went from saying I'm a guy to I'm a girl, just in time for college, to becoming a collegiate swimmer, breaking all the records, shattering records like crazy. I think is going to try to make it to the Olympic team for the next time out. Failed as a male swimmer, but beating up the girls, oh yeah, breaking every record. And the NCAA and University of Pennsylvania are looking to make her Woman of the Year. Well, again, my thing is live your life any way you want. Whatever gets you through your day, makes you happy and all that, as long as you're not hurting anyone else. Now, for those of you who think, well, how is Leah Thomas hurting someone else? Well, it's not like a physical beating, no. But every time Leah jumps into a pool against the competition, that means one other swimmer will no longer be able to make the time cut. I mean, most swimming tournaments are time trials. That's all it is. They're all a matter of time. They're races. And this person gets to shatter all the records based not on gender recognition, but on gender fact. And Leah Thomas is a male saying, I am a woman, and competing against naturally born females and crushing the competition. And that is the wrong part of it. So much so, as I've mentioned so many times. Caitlyn Jenner is probably the most famous of all transgender, current day, has come out against this. Now, why am I using Caitlyn Jenner as the example? Well, if you're too young to know, Caitlyn Jenner, long before she became Caitlyn, was Bruce Jenner. And Bruce Jenner is the 1976 Olympic pentathlon gold medalist. He was a terrific athlete. He was a teammate of the 1976 Olympic team, where all the great boxers came out of, including Sugar Ray Leonard. And first thing Caitlyn said was, "No, this is wrong," and it is wrong. This is not the way it should be. I've discussed this when they did it in the mixed martial arts arena, in the octagon, when Megan Fox went in and beat up a woman and fractured her skull because of punches. Who else is talking about this? Martina Navratilova, the former tennis champion, has talked out about this because it just doesn't work. It just does not work. It's wrong. And this is not the woman of the year when all you're doing is what you're doing. And that's just what I'm seeing. If anybody has a comment on this, feel free to enter it to the chat stream. Or if you'd like, go to our Facebook pages and say something over there. We do have live chat. Yeah. And it's just how I feel on the subject. It's wrong. Because again, I am not against people living their lives. I want to keep saying that. Of course, the first thing people say, there we go, you hear this all too frequently. The two words you always hear is racist and phobic. And no, it's not always the case. I am standing up for women here. This is just, I'm standing up for women in this one. If someone's future depends on a time trial in the sport they choose in female athletics in college, having a guy come in automatically knocks one of them out. If there are two transgender women in there, it knocks two of them out. That has already happened. And that is the part that's wrong. Want to recognize yourself as a woman? Go ahead. Affecting other people because of it, that in that way, not good. Now let's go to another part of being transgender, which is, of course, far from athletics. This one I got out of the New York Post, but then again, this can be from any service because they pick up all news feeds. It says incarcerated transgender woman Demi Minor impregnates 2 inmates at a New Jersey prison. Okay, the transgender woman behind bars at New Jersey Women's Prison impregnated 2 fellow inmates, prompting officials to move her to a different facility. Demi Minor, 27, was moved last month from the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women in the Garden State Youth Correctional Facility, to the Garden State Youth Correctional Facility. Well, 27 youth, I don't know about that, but I guess, for now. Prison for young adults in Burlington County, New Jersey. Okay, got it. Minor is serving a 30-year sentence for manslaughter. Okay. And is now in a vulnerable unit in the new facility where she is the only woman. Well, hold it. Demi is not a woman. How do I know? Demi just impregnated 2 women. Now, there's no mention here that the sex involved was not consensual. Matter of fact, I am pretty sure it was, because people in prison, a couple of needs here and there, and even though this person is saying, I'm a woman, there is still male capability, as we now see. So yeah, is Demi in danger because of her situation? Maybe so. But Demi is not a woman. The reason for the shift in venue, shift in living facility explains what happened. Again, so not always fair and why is it not only fair? Well, Again, I'm sure the sex was consensual, but now you have two people who are going to have babies. And who knows what's going to happen with the baby, because who knows if there's any support system outside that would want to take the children. Who knows if they're going to want to keep the children. Who knows what's going to be, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. This is such an unusual situation. It's not like, it's not the usual, it's just not the usual thing. Yeah. I mean, yes, women in prison have gotten pregnant before, obviously, but the nature of this is so unusual. I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't know what's going to happen. It's not, I really am not being kept in the loop, so to say. But again, just because you're claiming you're trans does not always make it true, does not always make it so. And, what can we say, right? What can we say? One of those days, right? It's just one of those days. A lot of shootings this week. A lot of them in New York, a lot of them in Indiana. There's a lot of shootings. We like shootings. That's all we ever get, shootings. We need some new crimes. Shootings, I'm not even shocked anymore. I mean, I get more surprised when you hear people defending the Second Amendment right, but rarely make mention of people shooting others for the hell of it. That's just how I see it. Oh man, yeah. Well, actually, I just refreshed my news feed from Microsoft News, and the headline comes from the Daily News: Woman sitting on courtyard bench outside of Brooklyn public housing, shot, wounded. Just sitting there. She's 74. Okay, not a problem. What else is going on here? Well, what a world this is. What a sick world this is. Look at that. It's 20 minutes in. Well, all I know is that to make myself happy, the Mets are in first place still. I shift gears dramatically here. I'm shifting gears. The Mets are in first place. They picked up a game lead on the Braves. The All-Star break comes up. They get a few days, whoever's going to the All-Star break, the All-Star game, good. The rest get to rest up for a day, apply a little ice where needed, sleep, catch up with the family for a day or two, and then go back to work. Hopefully the Mets don't fall apart like they always do at the All-Star break, but I'm rooting them in. Let's go Mets. What else can I say, right? That's my team. That is my team. I mean, what else is there, right? Gotta root for baseball. Always gotta root in baseball. It's actually, to me, the most intelligent of all sports. It really is. Let's just make it official. There you go. Let's go Mets. What else is going on? Speaking of sports, well, a big decision actually, it's not a big decision to kids looking at sports today. This is a posthumous decision. It is the late athlete Jim Thorpe has had his Olympic status reinstated as the sole winner in two 1912 Olympic events. This is a big, big decision. And actually, it's a decision to reinstate him as the gold medalist is long overdue. Jim Thorpe was a great athlete. Again, 1912 Olympics. And he won. He was a track field star. He was a great athlete. But between the Olympics, he had to make money. It was 1912. Athletes didn't make a ton. Certainly Olympics didn't make much of anything. He played minor league baseball. And he made money playing minor league baseball. And he wound up having his status, his gold medals, and his recognition stripped. And it was a horrible, it was a horrible decision. The man had to eat. Now, in 1982, the International Olympic Committee restored his medals, but Thorpe was considered the co-winner of both events because, yeah, well, and as I'm reading his statistics, in 1950, he was voted as the athlete of the first half of the 20th century. So from 1900 to 1950, Jim Thorpe was the number one rated athlete of the century at that time. Why it's important is because this is incremental, obviously. Since the Olympics started allowing pro athletes, the dream team being the most notable, the dream team in basketball, where the United States sent their best NBA basketball stars to compete against the world and crush them, which I couldn't see how that was fair. I wouldn't mind sending our best college athletes, but okay. They sent the number one, so Michael Jordan went, Charles Barkley went, and whoever went in that year, Patrick Ewing, they all went. And they beat the crap out of the world, and they got the gold medal. Well, that wasn't exciting to me. But okay, there's been now then tennis, and and why I had no problem with Jim Thorpe as a playing professional baseball, even though it's minor league, was that it had nothing to do with track and field. Well, he was running anyway. He's probably in better shape than most of the baseball players. But it wasn't like, say, I'm a boxing fan. Just picture the heavyweight champion of the world at age of 28, 30, going to fight with 22-year-old kids in amateur boxing, where they normally go 12 rounds. Now they can concentrate all their energy into 3 rounds and beat the crap out of anyone they want. I don't think that would be fair. I really don't. But in this case, since professional athletes are now allowed in the Olympics at all, for most of the events, I think it's long overdue that Jim Thorpe has full recognition back. And I don't know if that doesn't help him too much now, but I think as a general rule, it's the right thing to do. So good for the Jim Thorpe family. What else? Oh, by the way, if you are thinking of taking the ferry, the New York City ferries that go all over the place, they're raising the fares 45%. But there are more discounts available. So it reads like this: single fares on the New York City ferry are going up 45%, but the city says regular riders will still be able to take advantage of the old price, and new deep discounts will be available for those who are eligible. The city's ferry single ride fare will rise from $4 to $4 from $2.75. That starts September 12th. A separate $1 bike fee, you want to bring your bicycle on, will also be eliminated as of that date. A 10 ride pack will be available for $27.50, and effectively preserving old fare for those who ride the system more regularly. All right. Officials estimate the new pricing structure will generate up to $2 million in extra annual income. New ferry discount program will offer tickets at $1.35 each way for eligible riders who apply and are verified. Well, you got the idea. I got that from NBC New York's website. So pretty much, if you take the ferry every day because you're commuting back and forth to work, you're okay. If you take it once in a while, you're screwed. Tourists who are only going to take it one time, twice, back and forth, they're going to get the $4 price. Well, if you like to bring your bicycle on the ferry, they're waiving the bike fee, but they're getting the $4 hike, the $4 price. So essentially, they're still getting you for a little bit. Well, buy the 10-pack and see if the bike fee is still waived. See what happens. Because if it's not, then your price is $350. They want their price. They want their price back. Trust me, the New York City does not give you anything unless they find a way to take it back. That is just how it goes. It's always been that way. For anything you could think of, it just goes that way. City is good, but not that good. And yeah, it's just what it is. Now I was looking at a video on a TikTok, by the way. I shared it to my website, excuse me, my Facebook page. And they're showing all the people who played Superman, all the actors who played Superman, and how they change from Clark Kent to Superman. That's how it goes. The cliche is Clark Kent run to a phone booth, change, or whatever. But it's not always the case. A lot of times he was in an alley. Don't know how he got into the alley, but sometimes he was just in an alley. Sometimes he ran into it. He ran into a closet. One actor, Kirk Allen, the original Superman on film, he ducked behind the filing cabinet, which always led me to wonder, if you're alone in a room, why do you have to duck behind the filing cabinet? But okay. But yes, but there's one thing, and again, nobody really wants to see Clark Kent change, even though it's certain things you just don't have to see. Like, even though Bruce Wayne goes down the bat poles and changes into Batman, we don't see it. We really don't. We don't see Wonder Woman really. Linda Carter, we didn't see her putting her costume on. She spun in a circle, became a blur or a flash of light. Superman did it while he was running or falling out of a window, but you never saw it. It was a blur. You never saw it. But one thing I notice, when Clark Kent changes into Superman, he must go through a lot of buttons in life. Has anyone ever noticed that? Remember, he's a reporter. He's always dressed. He's always in the suit, wherever he is. Even on his day off when he's not wearing a suit, the first thing you see for the dramatic effect is he does this, and he shows you the big red and yellow S. But he's not unbuttoning the shirt. He's pulling it apart. So this guy, I don't know how he gets redressed when he's done. He has no buttons left. He just keeps on ripping open his shirts. But then I've noticed that about a few people in film and comics. I've always said, I've noticed about Tarzan, there's not a Tarzan in history that's ever needed a shave. No, they don't need a shave. Looks good. All the actors, they're all good-looking guys. They're all clean-shaven. They're all models. This guy's living in the jungle. He's wearing a pelt as a pair of shorts or a wrap or whatever he's doing. I don't even know where he got the knife. But okay, he's got the knife. But yeah, Tarzan has never needed a shave. Matter of fact, the only Tarzan that I am aware of that ever looked a little scruffy was the very original Tarzan in silent film, and his name was Elmo Lincoln. The actor was Elmo Lincoln, and he looked like he hadn't brushed his hair forever because, well, you're living in the jungle. You don't have a brush or a comb, nor are you likely to get a haircut. Another thing I noticed when you're watching TV or you're watching film, they all have nice comb, nice good haircuts, and yes, and that's why. So I noticed these things about some superheroes. It's just the way it is. I can't help it. I can't help it. I don't know why Superman wears the belt. I don't think he carries anything in it. I want to see Batman load his utility belt. I want to know what he carries and how he gets these big things inside the belt. I mean, the 1966 TV show Batman, that, I mean, it was more of a comedy. Adam West, he was always so serious. Everybody else was fooling around. And everything was hidden in his utility belt, including the bat shield, which I've discussed before. This big, you ever go into a bank and see those desktop plastic partitions that separate you from the teller, but it doesn't go, it's just sitting there with you didn't go over. It's that big. It's this big. And it folds, and he puts it in this little compartment in his belt. And I always wanted to see just how they get it in there. That's the trick. Okay. What do I know? I just have odd curiosities, like how Superman puts back on his shirt because he has no buttons. And at that time, I didn't see too much Velcro on suits. So there I am with my odd thoughts of the day. It must be the humidity, people. This is what's going on. This is it. This is what's going on. I was saving a picture for another time, but well, maybe I'll put it up in a minute. Yeah, we got time. Letting everyone know that this came from Associated Press on July 15th. That the new 988 hotline is the 911 for mental health. This is for the people who are suicidal. If you're having any kind of thoughts, anything, dial 988 and get help. This is suicide is not a joking thing. I mean, yeah, a lot of people sometimes, they're in the middle of whatever conversation, someone says, "Oh, I can't believe I can kill myself," but they're not really meaning it. Or you're sitting there with a friend and whatever, and they say, "Hey, go kill yourself." And no, that's not what we're talking about. This is actually a real thing. I take suicide very, very seriously. Anyone who knows me knows that. And they have created a special number. No longer have to look up the number. You just hit 988 on any phone, and that's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's a system that builds on that service, and they're estimating they get about 2.4 million calls in 2020. 2020 was beginning of COVID. I gotta believe it hovered around that number somewhere. But like I say, I've told people enough times. I've known too many that have killed themselves. So to me, this is a very valuable service. It really is. To me, it's a very valuable service. Don't be afraid to dial. Even you don't have to be sitting on a ledge. You don't have to be hanging out the window or off a cliff or with a gun right to your head. Just if you even having a thought, if it's iffy, should I, shouldn't I? Give a call, talk to somebody. It's one of those decisions that if you make it, you can never change your mind. It's the way it goes. And when I say suicide, I am not, I mean, I should be including because it's accidental, but I'm not including the people who are just, who just didn't intend on it, but something went wrong. I mean, people who are actually saying, I've had enough, whether it's a mental health issue, a physical health issue. You ran out of ideas. I mean, that became the best way for me to describe how I view it when I hear about someone who killed themselves, is they ran out of ideas. And I keep saying that there's always at least one of three things in play, which is one, they ran out of ideas. Two, somebody missed the signal. If there was a signal to be had, someone missed it or ignored it. And three, no one fought for them when they could no longer fight for themselves. The odds are you will find one of those three things in play. And I always said, I noticed 12. I'm sorry, I forgot the name of one of the people. It was someone who, through my prior work industry as an actress, and whatever happened. But of the 11 I know, usually it's one of those three things. So while I am lucky enough to say that no one directly connected to me in terms of family or close friends have done that, each one on my list that I do have a list of it, I knew them, whether it was work, casually, People I associated with, I knew them one way or another. So yes, this is an excellent service. No need to write it down. It's easy to remember. 988. Feel free. Keep it in your phone. Keep it on your wall. And don't be afraid to ask for help, because that kind of help, it's free. And it takes a very tough person to know when to ask for help. Very, very brave person who says, I need help. What else? What else? It's pretty quiet now, our stream today, which is okay. I'm on at a different time today, so I don't expect people who would normally check in with me to know that I'm here. As I said before, if you'd like to write to me, feel free to write to me at upfrontfrank@gmail.com. If you would like to ask Jade about her musical goings-on, whether she's here, there, or anywhere else for that matter, write to her at jadezabrick@gmail.com. If you'd like to do a little radio show podcast thing on your own, that's skyscrescentradio@gmail.com. Yeah, we do like Gmail. One good reason is they're pretty accurate in their mail deliveries, and it's free. This is good. There are plenty of services that I cannot have my mail go through and but pay them. Now I can have some mail failures and not pay them. I'm a happy guy. I am a happy guy. Well, yeah. What else? I'm getting my email for free. The Mets are in first place. That Oreo thing offsets my day. That's what's going on. That is pretty much what's going on today. I didn't come with a ton of stories because there was not a ton of stories to talk about. You know, I'm watching the news and I keep seeing the same thing. We're still on with this January 6th hearing thing. Well, I don't know. I don't remember how every last hearing took place way back when. But I'm sure not everybody needed days and days in between to rehearse and talk. And, you know, just get to it. Just get to it. Because the man you're going after is in his mid-70s. By the time you make a move with this thing, you can die happily in his own bed of old age. So if you're looking to get somebody in their 70s, you know, at least the hearing proceedings, just get to it. But then again, forgetting who you're going after in his age, just get to it. Every other time I turn on the news, I'm seeing the same thing. On the next hearing and the final hearing, and here's what's coming on with the hearing. I never see the hearings. Every time I turn on my set, checking with the news, I don't see it. I got a better case of looking at C-SPAN for local politics and looking at these boring sessions than seeing the federal boring sessions. And I looked at the news, and still, finally, is Joe Biden too old, too senile? Shut up! It's the same story every week. Every week. Oh no! That made me feel better. I got to rant and vent a little bit. Okay, before I go, because I'm not really talking. Well, I'm still going for a little bit, but I'm not really talking about anything overly important today, except the suicide hotline. ESPN Plus monthly subscription rises $3 because Disney wants streaming profits. So if you go to ESPN Plus, which by the way, I do like that service for the things I want to watch. If you were paying, it's a 43% hike. Their subscription service will go to $9.99 a month, up from $6.99 a month. Yeah, they want to. The cost of the annual subscription will be $99.99 as opposed to $69.99. So you got to pay them for the year and pay them for the month. And all I do is watch some boxing on it. But okay. I use Paramount Plus because they're the home of all my Star Treks. That's all I care about. But then again, I keep saying, years ago, I kept on talking about, and this was before streaming services are like they are now. I was talking to someone who sold product for me on cable systems. rental systems. And we were both talking about how people don't really need cable anymore. And I'm saying this 10 years ago, 12 years ago, people didn't need it. Because there were a couple of, it was Hulu, I forgot, there was a couple of streaming sites. You got everything you wanted. YouTube was coming up. You get to watch all the music you want and other things. MySpace, even before that, was a free site. And if you wanted to find good music, you could find it there. And cable was still in existence and far more expensive than if you were looking for one or two streaming sites. Now, everybody has a streaming site and they want you to pay. Every last company, HBO, ESPN, NBC. NBC has a couple of them. NBC has Peacock, CBS has Paramount Plus. I mean, it's endless as to where all of these streaming sites are. And it's interesting because if you pay, let's say you cancel your cable subscription right now, and you just keep going with, let's say, the high end of basic cable, so you have your internet. Even if you take basic cable, so you get some regular television, and you keep on adding on all the subscriptions with all their yearly membership fees and their monthly fees. And if you go onto some of these sites like DAZN, DAZN, if you're a boxing fan, not only do they want you to pay for everything you do, they also have pay-per-view events, a yearly subscription fee and pay-per-view events for still the same thing as if you bought it on cable. Before you know it, you're not saving that kind of much. You're really not. It's unbelievable. This is that every last company has a streaming site. You know, why not just make a cartoon channel streaming site? Streaming site. That way, when all the parents want their kids to be quiet, they could pay monthly to have their kids watch cartoons. That'll be worth the price of anything. Keep playing their favorite cartoon over and over and over just for a monthly fee. But that's just what it is. Everything is streaming, and it's just a fortune. But do your own math, see how it works out best for you, and do the best you can. Right? Just looking at that picture of the Oreo. Yeah, I know. That's going to be the most important topic for me of the day. The Oreo. Oh, man, it's 2:45. That is what's going on in the world. Let me check one more time to see if there's any more streaming. And I guess we'll round it out because there's no rule saying I got to stay here for an hour. There you go. Well, just checking, seeing what's going on. We all know what's going on in the country with abortion. We all know what's going on in the country with shootouts and shootings. We all know what's going on in baseball because the All-Star break is coming up. Getting ready soon. Before you know it, they'll be doing preseason football. Yeah, coming up. August is right around the corner. Be careful with who you bet on. Lines do change. And tonight I'll be looking at wrestling because the man, Ric Flair, at the age of 72, is having one last match. I think he has a pacemaker. I really do. I was watching one of his training videos as he's doing a little promo of it. He can still throw himself around pretty good. He knows how to do that. He'll always know how to fall on the floor and throw himself over a turnbuckle. But he's 72. It's training at your own pace is not the same thing. But this is the man who lives by the phrase, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And I like how whole boxers and every athlete uses that phrase now. This is a Ric Flair phrase. He may not have invented it, but he made it famous. That's because he is the 16-time wrestling champion, which really means he lost it 15 times. But he is the 16-time. Actually, he lost it the 16th time. Well, I'll be checking it to see what Ric Flair is doing. He'll bring out one of his old gorgeous George style robes to the ringside when he comes out, as he uses his theme song, which is 2001 Space Odyssey music. And I'd like to know what his robe collection value is worth. Gotta be a fortune. But anyway, that is the story. Okay, let's see. Let's start rounding this off because I'm starting to laugh at all the things I'm talking about today. I hope somebody got something useful out of this this random talk today. Remember, 988 in case you're feeling like you're running out of ideas. Call 988. Check out Jade at the Mediterranean Grill in Fairfield, New Jersey tonight. Jade, what time is your show start? Okay, she's telling me it starts at 6. Sounds like it goes to 8 o'clock. Would that be correct? 9. Damn. Jade goes for 3 hours, 6 to 9. I gotta tell you something. When you go to most concerts, when you go to big arenas, small clubs, not many people are going 3 hours. They're not. They're really not. They can. Bruce Springsteen has done 4 a few times with this band, but not many are going 3 hours. Now, Jade, you doing the current setup as your show? Still the same? Jade takes out her computer technology, 1 or 2 computers, all her new little devices, her pedals, her this device, or that device, and she is a one-woman band. And I don't mean like you'd seen in an old movie where you have the tambourine on the foot, the cymbal on the head, she's carrying a tuba and playing a guitar. And I'm not saying that. She actually has all her computers, everything's all set up, very neat way, very organized. I'm sure a very well rehearsed way where everything is just where it should be. And she plays 3 hours of whatever songs she chooses to play. And like all guitarists that I've ever noticed, just when you need a break, you take a sip of water, and while you're holding your guitar, you start tuning. You got to tune for a few seconds. Just keep tuning. It gives you a few minutes of not, so you get a little break in there. You talk to the crowd a little bit, you do this, you do that, and you get yourself in. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. She's got a 3-hour show. Well, good for Jade. Go check her out. Go check her out. 12 drink minimum. You'll leave with good music and in good shape. Don't drive home. Anyway, that's the show for today. Jade, good luck tonight. Again, Mediterranean Grill in Fairfield, New Jersey. Can't imagine there's more than one Mediterranean Grill. I'm sure you'll find it easily. Everybody, I will be back next week, show 297. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Have a good night. I'll see you next week. I'm out.